Well, that was fucking dreadful.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another video, the first video of 2022. Typical Charlton, eh? Typical Charlton. Can always count on them to ruin a perfectly good day for me. My 20th birthday and they go and put in a performance like that. Full time at the Valley, Charlton Athletic 0, Wycombe Wanderers 1. Everything about today was just absolutely terrible in SE7. Everything about today. The players, the atmosphere, the ref, it was just everything. It was just an absolutely awful, dismal day, to be honest with you, and a very poor start to the calendar year. The team is just either completely shot to confidence, the depth that we have in this team is not good enough, or maybe it's a combination of both of those things. I don't know at the moment, but what I do know for a fact, and what I have known for a very long time, is that our season is well and truly over, and that we need to think about the future now. We need to look ahead for the future, try and salvage what we can for the rest of this season with the players that we have, try and get the best finish that we can, and then look ahead for next season. That mountain that we have to try and climb to get into the top six has now just been made that much more steeper after today's result. And yeah, to be honest, I think we got what we deserved. I know Jackson and the team, some of the team anyway, have said that they felt that they deserved to come away with something from the game. Personally, I don't think that performance justified us winning the game, that's for sure. Could we maybe have nicked a point off of it? Potentially, but I don't know, it's just the way that the game was going. From what I saw for the vast majority of that match, I thought it was a very shocking performance and we didn't really deserve anything from it. Jayden Stockley being absent as a result of a hip injury. Jackson did say it was a little niggle, it wasn't COVID related. Yeah, just said he's got a hip injury. I don't know how serious it is, but by the fact he's saying it's a niggle, I'm guessing it's nothing too major. Josh Davison came into the side to replace him, and obviously the rest of the team is, as you would expect, Craig MacGillivray in goal, Jaiyesimi and Purrington as the wing-backs, Clare, Pearce and Famewo as the defensive line, Dobson, Gilbey and Lee in that midfield with Washington partnering Davison. Now, I didn't have, well, much against the overall lineup. Obviously, like I've said a couple of times now, is pretty much what you'd expect from a Johnny Jackson team, but no Stockley from the entire squad was definitely something to be worried about. Davison, I had my doubts about him going into this one. I wasn't massively confident in him playing a game. I said in my previous video, the video about the January transfer and what we should do, I did say that we should try and loan out Davison because, to be honest with you, I don't think he's got goals in him. I don't think he's good enough for this level. He can't knock his work rate, like I said in that video, but I just don't think he's got goals in him, and I don't think that we can rely on him to come on and make an impact in a game if we're chasing a game, if it's level or if we're behind, or even starting games. And unfortunately for him, in this case, I was right to have my doubts because, yeah, that was not a very good display from him whatsoever, and that's putting it lightly, but we'll get into that in a second. I'll start things off by talking about the first half, which was just pretty shocking, to be honest with you. It was pretty dire. We just had a very, very quiet half, did not threaten them whatsoever. I don't even recall us having a shot in the first half, and to be fair, I don't even think we did. I think we had a couple opportunities where we tried to get shots away, but they were blocked. But yeah, I don't think we actually registered a shot in that first half. It was pretty quiet and pretty bleak, to be honest with you. We just did not get going at all and just looked lethargic. It looked like we were just hungover from the night before. The team was just out celebrating New Year's Eve, and they just come into this one and just looked like they were hanging. Same with the fans. Like the fans, the atmosphere was fucking dreadful, to be honest with you. It was pretty flat for the most part. I felt that, I mean, obviously the game started and we were chanting away and had a few chants at the start of the game and making some noise, and then eventually we just completely faded away and we just all looked like we didn't want to be there. Do you know what I mean? Like, not just the fans, also the players. That just looked like they just did not want to be there. And ultimately, Wycombe took the lead through a fairly easy goal. Gareth McCleary ran the show at Adams Park in the reverse fixture in September. Done the same thing again today. Absolutely blitzed past one of our players on the left-hand side. Lucky weren't even there. I don't know who it was. It was either Purrington or Dobson. I couldn't tell. Some said it was Dobson. I thought it was Purrington at the time, but it might have been Dobson. I don't know. Either way, he's just skinned past the bloke on the left-hand side like he's not even there. Just smashed it into the centre of the box, and there's Sam Boakes to just drill it past MacGillivray into the back of the net, and that's 1-0. And ultimately, that was the difference between the two sides. That was the goal that won the game for them. And Yeah, that first half was just dire, to say the least. You know, the passing was just completely off. There was just a hesitance to even grab hold of the ball. The defenders were letting the ball bounce countless amount of times when trying to defend, putting us under unnecessary pressure. And I do feel bad singling this guy out for his performance, but I think it just has to be said. Josh Davison was absolutely diabolical today. He was absolutely awful and just proved to me and a lot of people that he just isn't good enough anymore. He's not good enough for this level. I know some people are still saying on Twitter, you know, oh, let's get off the guy's back, he's still a kid. A couple months ago he was playing very well, which is very true. You know, he did take his chance under Nigel Adkins, but unfortunately at this moment in time, I know he was good back then, but I'm afraid we've got to look forward. We've got to look into the future, and unfortunately Davison don't cut it for me. He was dreadful, but to be fair, so were the rest of the team. You know, we just did not get going that first half. Very, very quiet. Didn't test the keeper at all. Didn't even register a shot in the entire half. And we have to say the second half weren't that much better either. I think the most entertaining things Charlton fans saw all night was watching our own fans giving each other a clumping in the top of the J block, allegedly over them sitting in someone else's seat or whatever, and Gareth McCleary having a shit deflected in the edge of the box. Good thing we were able to clear it away. I mean, we did have a little bright patch within that second half. You know, there was a little bit of like a burst in confidence of us, say about like the 50th to the 70th minute mark. You know, we did look decent. You know, we were trying to come forward, trying to create chances. We came tantalisingly close at one stage when Jonathan Leko flicked a shot off the post. It looked like at first that he didn't know what was coming at him. You know, Gilbey just sort of did a similar thing to what MacGillivray did in the first half of Vokes' goal. Just ran down the touchline, cut inside, drilled it into Leko, and I thought at the time Leko didn't expect it at his foot, so he sort of just stuck a foot out to try and get something on it, and it struck the post. You know, that was the closest we came in the entire game. But we did, you know, in that little bright patch, we did try and come forward. You know, we were trying to get balls in the box, but ultimately Wycombe were just able to just clear them away, and, you know, shots were blocked and whatever. We just looked a bit hesitant to get shots away. We did get a couple shots away. I think Leko, when he came on in place of Davison, I forgot to mention that, Leko did replace Davison at half-time and did make an impact, to be fair to Leko. I felt we did quite well today when he came off the bench, had a couple shots. To be honest, I think for the entire game we just did not look like scoring. You know, we, like I say, we had that bright patch and the fans obviously got on board with that, and we started to sing a little bit and we started to get the atmosphere going again. That was the loudest we sang all game, but then after that patch ended, it just went back to just flat, you know what I mean? We didn't test Stockdale whatsoever in goal, and it was just a pretty bad day at the office. It just was not our day. We just did not perform. The atmosphere, the fans weren't really up for it today. The referee just did not have control of the game whatsoever. I don't know why he allowed Wycombe to time waste in the way that they did towards the final 10 minutes. Obviously Wycombe fans took the piss saying that, oh, that's standard Wycombe, but I just felt a bit disgusted by the referee for the fact he just allowed it to happen. So yeah, we kick off 2022 in negative fashion. We lose by a goal to nil. Wycombe, yeah, claimed 6 points off us this season. I know Jackson and Pearce come out today and said that, yeah, I felt that we deserved something from the game. Like I said, I think we definitely didn't do enough to win the game, and Jackson said that himself, but he felt that we could have maybe have nicked something. Could we have nicked something? I don't know, to be honest with you. I just think, like I said, from the way the game was going and the way we were playing, I don't think we deserved it. And like Louis Mendes said on Twitter, the mountain that we have to climb to try and get the top six has now been made that much bigger. And to be honest with you, I don't know why that's still a conversation. Top six, I think we were well out of that race a long time ago. We're now 14 points off the top six now. And it's very clear that we need serious improvements come the January transfer window. You know, we need to strengthen in areas, and the club knows that. You know, Jackson knows that. We've come out today and said that we need another attacking option. I think that's pretty standard, to be honest with you. I said in my latest video, we need a striker badly, you know, because it's very clear that the Stockley and Washington partnership is critical to this team and Jackson, and the way that Jackson sets this team up. Because if you look at our previous two fixtures, which are bloody typical, by the way, that we've lost both of them. You know, these players fight for Johnny Jackson for him to get the job. The first two games as permanent manager, lose both of them. But anyway, going back onto the Stockley and Washington partnership, you know, when we're missing one of them, we just completely fall to pieces, and we just look like a completely different side. Look at Plymouth. Without Conor Washington due to COVID, lost 1-0. Today, without Stockley, lost 1-0. You know, the two of them together are absolutely critical to this team. And unfortunately, I look at our other options on the bench in terms of our attackers, Leko, Davison and Burstow. I don't think it's enough. I really don't think it's enough. Leko come off the bench today. To be fair to him, had a very good impact on the game. Davison, unfortunately, today proved that he's not good enough for this level anymore, and I think he needs to go to League Two. Whether on loan or a permanent, I don't care. I think he just needs to go somewhere because he just looks completely shot to confidence. To be fair, the rest of the squad does at the moment. And then Mason Burstow, like, again, I do like him, and I feel like he could maybe do with a go. We could potentially give him some minutes, but I just look at this team and the situation that we're in without the likes of Stockley and Washington. Can we really rely on him to come on in the final 10 minutes of a game and change a game? Stockley and Washington are vital to this team, and when they're not available, when one of them ain't available, God forbid when both of them ain't available, but if one of them ain't available, we need someone to come on, and like I said in my previous video, it can't be some random sod. It's got to be someone that knows this level and can score goals at this level. They need to be a clinical finisher, and we need to try and bring in somebody in that department. Sandgard did say that we are looking to bring in 1 or 2 long-term permanent signings and a couple of experienced loans, which does sound pretty good. It makes sense, obviously. I don't know what positions we're going to try and strengthen. Obviously, I did say in my latest video, other than striker, I can't see us bringing anyone else in without letting someone go. So, instantly, I'm looking at sending Arto back to Forest. Allegedly, we're paying him 6 to 12 grand a week. He's played 4 times this season. Absolute waste of wages. Get rid of him. Don't need him. Loan out Albie Morgan, Charlie Kirk, Josh Davison as well. Could even send him out permanently. It does look very likely that we are going to loan out Morgan, allegedly. And it also is rumoured that Kirk is going back to Crewe. Until the end of the season. That has been flying about the place. I don't know how true that is, but I mean, like I said, in the attacking third, we brought on Ryan Inniss up front in the second half, and to be fair, he very nearly got an equaliser, and it reminded me so much of the days when we chucked Naby Sarr on for like the final 5 minutes and chucked him up front for him to make an impact. But yeah, that's my take on it at the moment. I think it was a very lacklustrous performance today. We just did not turn up, you know, like I say, we just did not look like we wanted to be there today, you know. I think apart from Dobson and potentially you could put in a shout for Gilbey and maybe Leko as well, I think there is just 4s and 5s across the board. Davison, I think it's like a 1 or a 2. He's probably lucky to even get a mark after that performance, to be honest with you. But I just think it was just a very poor performance. You know, Jaiyesimi just looked so hesitant to take on players. Purrington was non-existent. You know, Lee didn't have the best of games either. He did run a bit and try to get something going, but didn't have an amazing game. Neither did Washington. If we truly want to get top 6, I think we've got to go on a stupid run. I think we just need to salvage what we can. This window, it's very clear that we need to strengthen this team in areas. We need to bring in players that are going to be long-term. We need to look ahead to the future, salvage what we can with this team. I do think we have good players in this squad. I do think we've got good players, and Johnny Jackson is absolutely the right man. It's going to be tough. It's going to be very, very tough for the rest of this season. It's going to be interesting as well to see what's actually going to unfold, what we're going to do. So that is it for this video, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, can you possibly leave a like, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and turn on those post notifications so you are notified of when I post a new video. What do you guys think of the game? Let me know in the comments below. Happy New Year, everybody. We'll wish you guys all the best of 2022. Yeah, it's just a shame that they couldn't perform for my birthday today, but well, it is what it is. That's football. This has been Tyler Roninson. Have a nice day, and I will see you all in the next video. Take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you all then.